My name is Anna, and I have a condition called Arthrogryposis multiplex congenital, or AMC for short. And today is June 30th, AMC Awareness Day! Yay! So, at the beginning of the month, I asked you all to give me some questions. So today, I am going to be answering them.
20 questions.
Yes, 20 questions.
All right. 3 people had the same question.
Really?
Danielle, Sheila, and Evelyn all want to know, is there anything Anna can't do that she wishes she could?
There are a lot of things that I guess you could say I can't do, but I usually just either ask somebody or find a way, so I don't really care about what I can or can't do. I just do it.
Peggy wants to know, is Anna ever in pain?
Unless I'm unless I'm in stretching, which is to help my range of motion in my legs. It's not necessarily in pain, though, even then. I'm not necessarily in pain, I'm just uncomfortable, so no.
Mary wants to know, how will Anna manage personal hygiene as she gets older?
I'll probably, until I'm 18, have my parents here to help me with that if I need it. I'll probably just figure out how to do most of it myself anyway. And maybe when I'm an adult, if I need help, I'll probably maybe hire myself a servant if I have enough money.
A servant?
Kind of. I guess you could say it's a servant. That's what they would be doing.
Have you seen over the years, adult AMCers, have you seen any of the techniques that they use for
I have.
washing hair, brushing hair, getting do you remember any of those things?
Yeah.
What are some that you can think of?
Well, I remember Misha taught me how to when I'm taking a shower or to wash my hair, I could just scrub it, put my hand up on the wall and kind of use my wrist to scrub it, or I remember quite a lot of things, but I don't really have time to list them all off. Yeah.
There are ways.
Yeah, maybe I'll use those, and if I still can, I'll probably maybe see if somebody can help me.
All right. Diana wants to know, what are Anna's life goals when she grows up?
Huh? My life goals?
I'm not even 10 yet. What?
I don't know. Most of you know that I want to be a scientist and I want to be an astronomer, so pretty much that stuff, I guess.
Is it Amanda? Will Anna be able to cook someday?
I mean, I know how to make a PB&J sandwich, so probably.
Definitely you'll be able to cook.
Yeah.
We'll just make sure that, things are within reach.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'll probably store, if I have a house that has, up high cabinets or anything, I'll probably store the main stuff. I need to put in the bottom or something. Leave the top cabinets empty in case there's, something I could rip off the door and display stuff there if I wanted to.
We can even have, a special cabinet that has all the main things you use right at waist level and, Yeah, there's ways.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl wants to know, do the braces and casting ever end? Or will she always need them?
So, those are kind of the two different answers. So, for the braces, they don't necessarily end, but if I kind of, as I get older and I stop growing as much, I might not have to use them as much. I probably still will use them, but I probably won't have to use them as much because I've stopped growing and it's probably kind of slowing down a little bit because I'm older. As for serial casting, though, I might have to keep doing it for the rest of my life, but Dr. Feldman did mention a surgery that I wouldn't have to do it. I wouldn't have to do it as often or something, so I don't know, maybe.
Mags wants to know how tall the doctors think you're going to grow to be.
I don't know how tall the doctors think I am, but Mommy thinks I'm going to grow taller than she is.
Yeah, the doctors don't really pay attention to height. It's not really a concern.
Unless, well, they might use it for, like, maybe, like, special things that they might need the height for, or, like, I don't know, but, like, they might need it.
But, I mean, they don't worry about how tall you're going to be when you're done growing.
Yeah.
And, in fact, Dr. Feldman took an inch out of each of your femurs when you had your leg surgery. So you're an inch shorter than you would be. I think you're on the taller side for an AMCer, but not necessarily on the taller side of your peers.
Yeah.
Rosalie wants to know, does Anna ever wonder what her life would be like if she weren't born with arthrogryposis?
I don't wonder about it. I would think it's probably, maybe some things would be easier for me, but honestly, I don't care much because I like myself how I am.
And, you know, honestly, I never thought about it either. Because I love you the way you are, too. And it wasn't about, like, what if, or how did this happen? It was about, this is who she is, and let's make everything amazing just the way it is.
Yeah.
Lana wants to know, how does Anna manage basement stairs in the new house?
Daddy carries me.
I carry you too.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So does Mama too.
We have different methods of carrying you, right? How does everybody do it individually?
Daddy just flings me over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. You carry me like I like hang off of the back of you on your shoulders.
Piggyback.
Basically, I piggyback. Yeah.
What's Mama do?
Same thing as Daddy. Just on the other side.
She's sack of potatoes you. She's
younger. Just on the other shoulder.
She's younger and stronger than I am.
Hey, you're strong. You lift those big bins when we were moving. You throw all those in the truck, so you're strong. Those are like 60 pounds and I'm only 50. That's a difference.
Lana also wants to know, are adults with arthrogryposis able to drive?
Yeah. They just find ways. There's a lot of adaptive cars that have like the front seat, the driver's seat like ripped out, so they have room for the wheelchair if they need it, or storage in the back like our van does. You know, they have a lot of different things. They probably have like maybe like different steering wheels that are meant for people with disabilities probably too.
Cheryl says, is serial casting permanent or just temporary? Want to explain what serial casting is?
Yeah, and then I'll answer that question. So, serial casting is a series of casts. So, basically, imagine not the cereal that you eat, but like with an S in it. But, so serial casting, imagine you put a cast on. Like, let's say you imagine that you broke your leg, you'd have to put a cast on, right? It's similar but different. You just put a cast on, yes, but you like put it in a certain position, like bent to help my legs still have range of motion, or straight, so I can still like. So it's it depends on like which part of my leg. Kind of like sometimes I do ones that are just the side of my AFO, so it's like all different and stuff. And so serial casting only lasts like it's like a whole bunch of rounds, kind of like 3 or 4 rounds. So like you do one round, you leave it on for a few days. And then you go back to the place, you take it off, you put a new couple, like, you wait 10 minutes, you put another cast on. It goes like that for a few rounds. So, in that case, serial casting is not permanent, but I might have to do it for the rest of my life. But I have to do it like once a year about.
So it's permanently temporary.
Yes. Eventually.
Janet wants to know, has Anna ever tried myofascial release therapy?
So, I think I did once.
You did. We did like a year and a half of myofascial release and craniosacral therapy. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I did not find it to be more effective than swimming. I think when she had the pool right outside and she was swimming regularly and running around the big expanse of a house that we had in Florida, she gained far more range of motion and strength and use than she did when we were doing the myofascial release, craniosacral therapy, myofascial release, and she was also doing swimming lessons at the time, but just a couple days a week. So
yeah, the reason that was kind of easy for me when I did swimming, it helped my knees get back to a little bit easier of a range for me, because like after I was done with, usually like if I don't go swimming, like right after I finish like doing all rounds of serial casting, it's like it kind of like takes like 4 or 5 days for it to go back to normal. But after that one time, I'm turning. One time, that happened, but it didn't take me 4 or 5 days. I swam like a couple days later, and it was like fine again, almost fine again.
Yeah, I think the weightlessness that swimming provides you allows you to really like utilize your range and
you'd be able to move
your
my
little bit of muscles more, and it gives you more movement, like quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a shame. The pool is one of the big things that we're going to miss from Florida for sure. I wish we had the ability to put one up out back that she could at least do therapy in on a regular basis, but then she'd only be able to use it like 4 or 5 months out of the year here.
It would always be fun anyway, even if it didn't have to do therapy.
Yeah. Beverly wants to know, what is your favorite pair of Billy shoes?
Probably these ones that I'm wearing right now.
The goats?
Yeah,
these are the ones that you worked with your orthotist to design for the Billy company.
Yeah, so the Billy shoes themselves were meant for like a kid who was having trouble like just trying to like tie the shoelaces and all that. So I guess his parents or something created these shoes that were just zip up, so he wouldn't have to worry about that. He could just zip it up around the front. But so, hi. Do you want to answer questions too?
Momos, how do you like being a service dog for an AMC'er?
Well, I like sleeping on the floor, and it's kind of fun.
Anyway, back to Billy shoes.
Yeah. But the ones, so those regular Billy shoes were just, they were adaptable, but these new ones that Matt created were meant specifically for orthoses, so they were a better fit for orthoses.
Margaret wants to know if you have ever met or looked up to any athletes or celebrities with arthrogryposis.
Not really.
Chelsea and Michael both want to know what you would say to young or newly diagnosed kids with arthrogryposis who are facing big challenges.
I would say probably just be strong and power through it. I think the best thing for me, like when I'm hurting during my stretching and stuff, I just distract myself. So that's like a good way to kind of not hurt so much. You can just distract yourself by thinking about things you like, imagining what would happen the next day or whatever. Yeah, that's my advice for him.
Sharon wants to know if Anna could invent a tool or device to make life easier, what would she invent?
A robot cat, basically.
A what?
A robot cat that can fly around, so it can help me with things.
So which probably doesn't. A robot companion that helps you with everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you need help with.
Yeah, basically.
But a cat.
Well, I love cats, so why wouldn't I?
Or like a unicorn. Robot service pet.
Or a unicorn. I could ride on it.
What would it help you with, you think, the most?
Probably setting up my weird forts in my bed. Okay. I do like that.
Jill wants to know, what are some key tips or tricks for supporting a child with AMC going into their first surgery? Gosh, that's more of a mom question.
I don't really know.
I think the big thing that I'm going to say to answer that question, it's always been huge for me, and I know there's some moms who are uncertain if it's the right thing to do, and mind you, all kids are different, so maybe for some kids it wouldn't be, but at least with Anna, and the way I feel personally, I've always found that the best way to prepare her for surgery, any surgery, first surgery, second surgery, 10th surgery, is to just be honest with her, completely transparent, and talk to her and tell her everything. What it's for, how it works, what's going to happen, what to expect afterwards, why we're doing it. I find that way Anna was much more comfortable going into the surgeries. She wasn't as fearful. Nothing felt like a surprise. Nothing blindsided her. She knew that it was going to be hard. She knew that it was going to hurt for a while. She knew that we were going to work through it together. And that, for me, was the most important thing going into surgeries. Maggie says, do you know how Anna's dog was trained not to jump in the pool?
She hates water.
She wasn't trained.
She just hates water.
She just doesn't like water. Michael says, what advice does Anna have for other kids with AMC who are learning to do things like writing or dressing?
Hey, what was that again?
Advice for other kids with AMC who are just learning to do things like dressing themselves and writing. And
I would say the same thing as I said for the other advice one. Probably just like if you're kind of like scared of it, if you can, then just try. You can just.
What's the rule? How about sharing your rule for trying?
Yes. So the rule for trying things is you have to do it at least 3 times before you ask for help.
Good effort by yourself, because a lot of times you surprise yourself and you figure it out.
Yeah, because if you're just like, if you pick up a pencil, I can't hold it right. First try, that's you have help. You're just gonna be like, oh, this person helped me that first time, so maybe they'll help me this time and this time and this time. But if you just try it 3 times, you might be like, oh, hey, the first time it didn't work, but the second time I figured out how to hold it the right way. You know, like. So it's like try it multiple times before you ask for help.
That's worked for most stuff in your life so far, huh?
Most stuff, yes.
As long as it's not like too heavy or too high or too,
too far away.
Yeah. All right, and final question by Trish. Can Anna and Ryan Page, another influencer with a similar disability, do a video together? Well, first of all, Anna and Ryan Page don't have a similar disability. They have the exact same disability. They both have arthrogryposis, multiplex congenita, type A myoplasia. And fun fact, Anna and Ryan
already did a video.
Anna actually, when she was 4.5 years old, interviewed Ryan. You can find that online by searching Google for AMC Princess Anna and Ryan Page. It'll come right up for you. And yeah, they've been friends since. That's it.
Wow, that was it.
That's all we've got for now.
Okay, well, thank you all for watching this video, and wear blue. Yay! Have a fun day. Bye!